Good noon. On behalf of Chaincode Consulting, a very warm welcome to all. We have gathered here today for tech discussion on enterprise blockchain adoption 2023. And it brings me great pleasure to send a hearty greeting to all of the presenters and the guests of the event. I'm Garima Khatwani, and I'll be the host for today's event. We are here to talk about enterprise blockchain insight and trend analysis. Before we start, I'd like to thank everyone for sharing your availability and coming for such diverse blockchain and industry backgrounds. This enterprise blockchain adoption event will offer insights and trends about enterprise blockchain technology and use cases for emerging and established ventures to increase its uptake smoothly. Our primary purpose is to provide answers to enterprise blockchain adoption difficulties and to enhance blockchain adoption, introducing with innovation, information, and collaboration goals. Chaincode has launched a tech forum to deliberately promote a culture of insight sharing between emerging and established business on emerging technologies and trends like blockchain, metaverse, and process automation. Promoting and advancing the Skill India program will also appear as the part of Innovation Spectrum, allowing young entrepreneurs and angel investors to effectively work together on initiatives from the beginning as the partners of the respective project. Chaincode Consulting is the enterprise blockchain enabler, providing consulting and development services to the logistic and supply chain management sectors. Since 2019, Chaincode has empowered several sectors, including transportation, healthcare, and finance, to use blockchain on an enterprise scale. In addition, CCL has completed a wide range of projects in payment, smart contract, supply chain, distributed ledger technology, and digitalization of land record. Chaincode has also introduced its smooth workplace with lavish cafe. So now you can work, meet up, and relax over a cup of coffee and sandwich. Allow me to take you on a tour of Chaincode Cafe before starting the event. Let's start the event by introducing our honorable speakers of the event. Our first speaker is Mr. Naresh Jain, an entrepreneur and investor with over 26 years of industry experience with expertise in supply chain management, oil and gas industry. He has done extensive research on blockchain technology and has been developing innovative products and solutions on blockchain technology since 2017. Naresh has played different roles in various IT engagements across industries and traveled globally to service customers during his stint with IBM, Deloitte, and KPIT. He strongly believes that the blockchain is another revolution like the internet, and it will be a different world in the coming decade. Our next speaker is Mr. Aliasgar Haji. Mr. Aliasgar is Managing Director at NorthStar Technology International Limited. With an extensive experience in growth and product management, he focuses on user experience and product strategy. He has also helped in saving lives by using machine learning while working with the startup from the Betic Lab of IIT Bombay, whose goal was to create a smart stethoscope to help patients in rural areas by providing early detection of heart-related disease. Our next speaker is Mr. Satya. Mr. Satya is an international expert in NGN technology, regulation, interconnection, and broadband with 42 years of experience in all aspects of telecom, including 25 years with government and regulator. Dr. Satya joined the Ministry of Communication in 1981 and in 1983 rose the additional secretary in government Mr. Satya is also a prominent blockchain influencer taking care of Blockchain for Productivity Forum. Our next speaker is Mr. Narendra Shukla. Mr. Narendra Shukla brings in more than 18 years of techno-functional experience working in the supply chain logistics, petroleum, and automotive industry, while working with the technology majors like SAP, LABS, and IBM. He is a blockchain certified consultant and is consistently exploring blockchain use cases for enterprise grade projects. He has an hands-on experience in handling complex programs, delivery for several clients like British Petroleum, Philip Morris International, Apollo Tyres, etc. in digital automation space. Our next speaker of the event is Mr. Nanjunda. Mr. Nanjunda is the founder of Nija Venture Impacts Private Limited and a distributed economy coach focusing on establishing companies that provide value to the clients. With extensive experience, Nanjunda is always an archetypal entrepreneur, taking a 360-degree perspective of all parts of the business, formerly with a prominent organization and most recently in his independent venture. And last but the lead speaker of the event is Mr. Hansraj. Mr. Hansraj is a blockchain engineer with in-depth experience in various blockchain technologies like Hyperledger Fabric and Ethereum. He has worked on various domains like supply chain, finance, NFT, marketplace, DAO, and DeFi. His technical expertise lies in designing a blockchain network, developing smart contracts with their seamless integration with application, and designing blockchain protocol from scratch. Before we start the event, I would like our guests and attendees to share their Q&As in the Q&A section. And after the speakers have done sharing their insights on the blockchain adoption and their use cases and benefits, we'll take over the Q&A section. I would like Mr. Naresh based on his extensive experience and expertise in supply chain management, to share his views on blockchain adoption in oil and gas industry.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you, Chaincode, and good evening, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's really nice to be here. Let me quickly talk about me. So I worked with the various companies, and last 6 years we have been working on blockchain space across. We have worked across different industry. Now let me talk about what blockchain can do. What is the potential of blockchain? Potential blockchain is that it can change. It being a decentralized technology, it has a potential to change the world in a different way altogether. We have various use cases which can be applied across different industry. Garima started talking about oil and gas, but oil and gas is just one industry. But the major industries, what if I talk about, is banking and financial, and the manufacturing, pharma, healthcare, and e-governance. So across industry, we can use blockchain. If I divide what kind of use cases could be there, I can divide into a few different categories. One, I would say that one is a tokenization. Tokenization, one of the use case most of you might have heard about is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That is one kind of token. Apart from that, stablecoin, NFT, CBDC, these are different kind of use cases under category of tokenization. Apart from that, supply chain, any kind of asset track and trace or provenance of assets. Then after that, any kind of records where you need security, secure record keeping, and shared record keeping, identity management, and smart contract. The use case can be used where blockchain can be used. From adoption point of view, currently the majority of the use cases are on tokenization sites where we are using public blockchain. And as far as the permission blockchain, which is the type of blockchain which is mainly for enterprise application, the usage it is at the lower level. Adoption is increasing, but majority of the use cases are coming in the area of decentralized finance And you must have heard about CBDC. CBDC is just a digital currency issued by the central bank. And in fact, India also has, the Indian government has also issued that currency, started the pilot project last month. So that is one kind of use cases. If I specifically talk about, say, oil and gas industry, oil and gas industry, one thing is supply chain side, the overall upstream side or downstream side, any kind of whatever oil or the oil-based products, tracking of those can be done through blockchain. That's one of the area. Apart from that, there are a lot of documentation, there are a lot of certifications where we need to really authenticate throughout the process. That is another area which can be done. Like that, there are various use cases which are specific to oil and gas. But specifically, oil and gas at this point of time, it's not something where application blockchain is adopted at a bigger level. It's still slower. The majority of the use cases tech side or chain side in general across different industry. Yeah, thank you. Garima, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Naresh. That was really insightful. Moving to our next speaker, Mr. Aliasgar. Mr. Aliasgar, please share your thoughts on the industries that you have ventured in the blockchain so far.
You are on mute, Alicia. You are on mute. We can't hear you.
So sorry, so sorry. Yeah. So firstly, good afternoon, everybody, my fellow speakers and the audience members. Um, a great initiative taken by Chaincode again. Nareshji, thank you so much for your insights on how blockchain is used in oil and gas industry and also few use cases in supply chain. I will be talking about the adoption of blockchain in the media and entertainment industry. Uh, I'll just quickly share my screen right now and walk you through few numbers. Garima, I hope I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Please proceed.
Sure. So before starting with my presentation, I would like to quickly play a small game with everyone on the conference. So according to you, what percentage of the revenue is shared with a content creator? Let's say if there is a song which is created, so if the song earns, let's say, 100 rupees in its lifetime, what percentage do you think is actually given to the creator of the song, of the music, who is actually the inceptor and the creator of the music? Any guesses by the audience?
Well, less than five,
Oh,
Ali.
yeah, I think so,
Okay,
from 2 to 5
close by.
percent.
Any other guesses?
Yeah, we are getting responses from the team, from the
Mhm.
attendees. It's 5%, 50%, 10%, 3%, 10 to 20%, up to 5.
Okay. Okay, so the number is less than 12%.
Okay.
Um, one more very quick tidbit over here. So the total music industry is approximately valued at $2.1 trillion. So what do you think is the average amount of money lost due to IP infringements and due to again digital copies created in terms of losses? I'm telling you it's in billions. So I myself was shocked after looking at that figure. Any ballpark number by you guys?
Yeah, we are also receiving the answers in videos. And yeah, as our attendees don't have the access to their mics and cameras, so only our speakers and the organizers can answer you right now. Apart from that, everybody will answer in Q&A section.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So okay, let me get into it and actually show you the numbers. Yeah. So as I mentioned that the global entertainment and media industry's revenue is approximately $2.1 billion. And according to a report, the industry is expected to lose around 51 to 70 billion dollars due to copyright, privacy laws and infringement. So the trillion-dollar industry is basically subjected to multiple risks associated with content distribution, rights management, royalty payments given to artists, illegal streaming and downloading of content, and specifically when everything is digitalized and now we don't have those physical CD copies which used to take. So it's really easier for anyone to make these illegal copies. Again, the second report from City Group is about how if the industry, so the US music industry has an all-time high spend of $43 billion a year, but the artist, who's the main contributor towards the industry, just gets 5 billion, which is less than 12% of that. So this is just to show you the impact of the problem we are trying to solve here using blockchain. Right? Just again, few numbers about the adoption. So currently in the media, advertising and entertainment industry, blockchain is growing at a very, very high pace with a CAGR of 64.2%, which is like one of the highest numbers in any, according to any industry standards. Right? At approximately by 2028, this is going to be a $1 trillion industry. Many researchers have said that. Currently, the largest market for such content is in North America, and steadily the blockchain use cases in the media and entertainment industry are spreading towards the Asia Pacific region, specifically China, Japan and India, because there are a lot of music consumers and a lot of people who are consuming digital content in these regions. So the trend is shifting from North America and the Western countries towards the Asia Pacific countries. So this is an overview of the number of the increase in the number of blockchain wallet users from 2017 to 2022. There had been almost a growth of 713% in the year of 2021 in the amount of funding given to blockchain-based startups. The number was approximately $25.2 billion, which was the total funding given. So yeah, the numbers are there, which goes to prove that the technology we are again exploring over here has its impact in not only solving the current problems but also creating multiple other business models. So a lot of times I question myself that why only blockchain, because these are problems which have been existing in the industry since a long period of time. And when we are understanding the adoption of blockchain, we need to understand how beautifully this technology has actually helped in solving this problem in the most efficient manner out there. So since everyone on this call knows the basics of blockchain, I'll just quickly dive into it. The three main core strengths which blockchain builds in this, which blockchain brings in this industry is one, transparency, two is immutability, and three is security, impeccable security. Right? So these use cases were initially adopted in the finance domain, in the finance industry, but then later on it saw its use cases and its benefits in other industries. So now we are talking about the media industry here. So immutability again helps in censorship resistance, security again, data structures which result in high degree of auditability and reliability, transparency which enables the visibility of ledger information across all users. Just one more fact over here. So on Spotify, when a content piece is uploaded, it takes around 230 streams of that particular content. For example, a particular song. So it takes 230 streams of that particular song to be played for $1 which is given to the content creator. So that's the world we are living in currently. Uh, Resistance again prevents the alternation of data, eliminates asymmetric information. Invulnerable, again, blockchains are also, since they are distributed, they are decentralized, which means that there's no single point of failure attack. When hackers can attack that central database and change the metadata of the creators, which will cause a lot of delay in, providing them with the royalty fees and providing them with the rights which they are actually entitled to. So these are the areas where blockchain comes into picture and adds value in the media entertainment industry. So looking at the current landscape, you would see that there are very few startups still popping up in the media and entertainment industry which have actually used blockchain. Right? Adoption of blockchain in the media and entertainment industry helps automate a real-time billing. and real-time allocation of royalty payments, which is expected to create better business opportunities for providers of blockchain solutions in the media and entertainment industry. The key driver is basically increasing demand for secure online platforms for real-time pricing modules for content consumption and elimination of content aggregation. So when I'm talking about real-time pricing modules, it means peer-to-peer micropayments when a particular content is actually used. So for example, there would be micropayments which would be paid on a real-time or dynamic basis when a particular song would be heard. Which is different from the current model wherein there are rights which are issued, and those rights are there which are distributed, and there are a lot of intermediaries who get who get those funds allocated instead of the end content creator. Uh, Currently, there are few roadblocks, which is again an adoption of the new blockchain use cases in the media and entertainment industry. And the major one is because it is expensive currently in the initial stage. And there are few technologies which is under development, which has to be tailor-made according to the media and entertainment industry. One really good example currently, which I found was, I'm sure a lot of you all are aware about Shimaru Entertainment. Right? So Shimaru Entertainment has actually collaborated with a firm known Seracle, which is a Web 3.0 full stack infrastructure company, which builds digital applications. So Shimaru would want to unleash their value of intellectual properties and democratize creativity, ownership, and applications, and wants to become the new frontier in implementing blockchain technology in the media and entertainment industry. So yeah, so there is a lot of things going on, and the adoption is steadily going to increase. I'll be soon later on talking about the benefits and use cases of blockchain in media and entertainment industry. So yeah, over to you, Garima.
Thank you, Mr. Aliasgar. That was really insightful to see how the media and entertainment industry is growing in the blockchain direction, and it's in the right direction as we can see in your numbers as well. So, moving to our next speaker, it's Mr. Satya. He's an expert in the blockchain government sectors. So, Mr. Satya, please share your insights on the railways and how blockchain adoption has been going so far, and what are the future projections?
Oh, thank you, Grima, and good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me well, please?
Yes, we can
Yes,
all hear
Satya,
you well.
we can hear you.
Oh, thank you, and good to meet our friend Naresh Jain electronically, of course. And so, as Garima has already mentioned, I'm chairing a think tank called Blockchain for Productivity Forum, which is basically have academia also as its partner and few startups as well as few experts. And our aim is to basically carve out or create the use cases of this wonder technology, blockchain, the distributed ledger technology in the government enterprises like various departments of the government and its public sector units and joint ventures. And as has already come out, the main attributes of the blockchain by Mr. Naresh Jain and also Mr. Alias Gar, that three attributes we are banking on them also. The main thing is the transparency, and then the traceability and the trust actually, which is created through the encryption, hash, and consensus mechanism. So by making use of that, we are trying to solve some problems of the government enterprises which are not being solved by the conventional technologies like the normal AI, ML, computerization, digital transformation. There are so many technologies which are available, but all the problems are not being solved. So there are some problems which are still unsolved in many departments of the government, though we are concentrating, and that is because of my personal background in telecommunication for about 25 years and railways for about 15 years actually. So these two government department, the Ministry of Railways and its various entities or various enterprises, as well as the Department of Telecommunication and its various agencies. So that is where we are focusing on in the government usage. So to start with, let me tell you what has already happened. Though both these actually ministries are new to adoption of blockchain, except one example, and that is TRAI, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Actually, they dared to adopt blockchain or digital distributed ledger technology to solve one of the problem which was existing for last 25 years, and that is called these unsolicited commercial communication, or like what we call the spam call, what we call them, that we used to get a lot of these spam calls from telemarketer, from these loan givers, from insurance company, and what you have basically the telemarketer, and it was most of the time a nuisance to the recipient of the telecom. And now they have not of course stopped, they are coming in different fashion, like sometime through SMS, sometime through WhatsApp calls, and sometime through calls also. So what the try wanted, that these concept of do not call registry, do not call registry was actually mandated, that any telemarketer, first of all he has to register itself with the government website, that yes, that is his number, and he will be making call to the people, which will be transaction calls, marketing calls, unless the user or recipient of the call register itself on that registry, that I don't want to receive any call from you. And so that is what. So with that, what happened was, those telemarketers and telemarketers first needed a registration with the regulator, and then they were allocated a short code, also a 5-digit code, so that every telemarketer is identified that from which telemarketer this call is coming. Those short codes were there, so they will register there, and they will not make just a broadcast call or a spam call to anybody, but they were allowed to call to the people who have not registered themselves or blocked that particular telemarketer to make a call to them. So, but it was not happening, neither it was effective, though there was a mandate. Then some experts suggested to TRA that blockchain can solve this problem. Actually, you tell the operator to make use of the blockchain by for filtering the calls which are registered at do not call, which are there the customer which don't want the call from particular telemarketers. So that was done. So those telemarketers who registered in the do not call registry, and where the customer of the call, like recipient of a phone, wherever he has registered himself, that he should not be getting call from a particular number, so that should be blocked. And if it is not blocked, if the call still come, then there were penal provisions, all that, and that is happening. And the operator made use of this distributed ledger technology to stop that, and it worked, but not in a full-fledged manner. So what has happened is, there are still some telemarketers who are not registered on the registry of the regulator. They are not registered on the do not call registry. If they are not registered, then there is no way you can find out whether the call was solicited or unsolicited, and the user never got the opportunity to register itself are not getting call from that particular telemarketer because he was not registered. So now the TRI has come out with the next step of it actually. The next step is they want the two things to be done. One, from wherever a call is coming, so whether it is from a registered telemarketer or non-registered telemarketer. So when this call comes, the calling party name should also come, and like it is coming on the true caller. But when the name comes from the true caller, half of the time it is not correct because it is not actually coming through a authenticated or a validated source actually, and it is not that easy to validate or authenticate it. But if we use the blockchain as a technology, the distributed ledger technology, which have traceability function, transparency function, and consensus, so the validation of the caller can happen by use of blockchain through some mechanism like some consensus mechanism, so that whatever number comes on your calling party side, like calling party identification, it will be validated or authenticated not by the true caller kind of application, which is not 100% reliable. The neither from the government, because even government cannot do all such thing. So that is where the blockchain will be used, and the validation of the number and name of the calling party will be done through the consensus mechanism of this distributed ledger technology. So that is a new paper, actually consultation paper, for which comments have been solicited, and there is of course a lot of opposition on that. Some people are telling no, it is a privacy issue. Some people are telling it cannot be even done even if you use blockchain. But I personally feel blockchain can solve this problem, and so that the validation happens. And blockchain, the basically it will be a distributed database kind of thing, where the KYC documents will have to be collected and collaborated, because whenever you get a connection as a telephone user, even if you are a telemarketer, you give your KYC papers to the operator, to the service provider, and there is a linkage between your numbers and your details actually. So actually that means somewhere the information is there. It may be in silos, it may be in different agencies. In this case, it is with the operator, not with the regulator. So that linkage can be done through blockchain also. And this problem of unsolicited commercial communication, the menace, which is such a big thing even today, though it is problem is half solved, can be fully solved. So that is one of the application where we are supporting the regulator. Also, regulator have come out with a consultation paper actually under CLIP paper, means calling line identification project actually, and where the KYC, wherever it is done at the operator level or retail level or on a self-based level, wherever it is there in silos, it can be collaborated on a common distributed database by making use of blockchain, which is fully transparent and available to everyone, so that you don't depend only on any commercial entity which may not be doing a foolproof job. So that is one application on which we are working. The second application of blockchain for the telecom side is a famous project of our Prime Minister called PM Money, Prime Minister Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, where to take the broadband to the rural areas at a low cost by making use of Wi-Fi. This new framework, which is totally disaggregated and decentralized framework, is there, wherein any rural person can become a micro operator without registration, without paying a license fee. He just have to buy the backhaul or a internet connection from an operator who has a license, and then he can distribute it through Wi-Fi without having any license, without having any registration, except he has to register itself in a central registry at C dot, and that is for the statistical purpose actually. It is not for any payment or any revenue share. So there also it was a big thing, but somehow the central registry registration being that of government and in its infancy, it has become more of a bottleneck than of a facilitator what was intended to be. And so project is not scaling up or not growing up. So there is a concept called now open Wi-Fi network. The open Wi-Fi network will be a fully distributed Wi-Fi network. All the hotspots can get interacted or connected there, but if you are a subscriber of one hotspot, so you can also roam or migrate seamlessly in the other one, and it will become totally open. For that you need again a decentralized registry, not the centralized registry. That is where we are working on, that how to make that registry decentralized. It will still do the statistical part actually. So that is another project which is interesting, and it will be a game changer for the growth of these PM Money project, where the rural population will be provided with Wi-Fi based broadband access. At the moment 50% of the rural people are still not having broadband actually, even if this liberalization have come as a policy level. So this is what I think. I've taken more time, so I'll come back for my other huge cases, and that is for railways. Thank you, Garima.
Thank you, Mr. Satya. It was really insightful to see how blockchain is helping the government sector, especially the railways. Now, I would request Mr. Narendra Shukla to share his views next.
Thank you, Garima. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Naresh, Ali, and Satya sir for giving us a deeper insight. That was really wonderful. Okay, I will be talking about a healthcare industry traceability use case for medical industry. Just allow me, I will be sharing my screen.
Mr. Narendra, if you could please turn on your camera.
Okay, so we call it NF-Trace. So this is a traceability project centered in healthcare industry. Now let's talk first about the drivers. What invoked us to create this product actually? So basically we are talking about the medical industry market with respect to transfusions and transplant industry. Clubbing together, this is a billion-dollar industry globally. And as of now, there is an economical gap here. This is an unorganized economics is playing a vital part in this industry. There is a huge gap between demand and supply as of now. So this is one of the key drivers. Another thing is here, there is a lack of trust. So I will take a small example here in this case. Let us say you have a medical condition and you are going through a blood transfusion. Now you are getting the blood, but you don't know the traceability of that blood sample. Who was the donor? What condition it was kept on? Whether the medical standards were followed all through the chain, and how much time? What was the shelf life of that particular blood sample? So there is a definitely there is a lack of trust in between the donors who are actually donating these human vital items and the recipient who are actually receiving this at their end. So this is another driver. The next driver is there is a lack of awareness with respect to tracking these items, right? I mean, the recipient doesn't even know, especially in case of transplant. The transplant market is growing at a very, very rapid scale now. The condition in which these organs were kept and the medical ethics to keep it or the medical standard to keep it, there's nothing to trace in between. We are living in a world where the drones are being used in logistics to carry these human vital organs from one hospital to another hospital, because there is a time crunch, especially with respect to vital organs like heart, kidneys, or liver in this case. So this product of us is going to address the whole chain of human vital items. Okay, so before I get into the details, I will be talking about some abbreviation here in this case. We call it HVS and HVO here. For this reason, HVS is your human vital specimen, which we call as blood, serum, platelets, etc. This is essentially a liquid. And human vital organs, we call it HVO. These are organs, vital human organs, which are transplanted from donor to recipient. Here you can think of something like heart, lung, kidney, etc. Okay, so as I have already talked about, we have been discussing about the healthcare, unifying the healthcare ecosystem to cater the economical challenges for both of these markets. And the biggest benefit here, I would say that, there is a lot of illegal market involved here, especially with respect to illegal organ trade, red market for the blood, and organ trafficking being done at a very rapid scale at this point of time. So this tool of us, this product of us is addressing this, since we are tracking the end-to-end traceability and creating a compliance out of it. Okay, the product has functional accesses for all the involved stakeholders. It could be donors, it could be hospitals, it could be the laboratories which are doing the medical standard checks, because once these samples are collected, they pass through a medical examination. Only if they are found compliant with a specific medical standard, they are found fit and kept stored in a bank or a storage, whatever is applicable here. So the recipients, the doctors, the collection banks, the logistics involved here. The logistics is a fairly wide area here, and it is evolving at a very, very rapid scale. Nowadays in USA, drones are being used to do this at a very, very within no time, I would say like that. Okay, so the key aspects of the solution here, or the idea here, is that the journey will start from the donor with the consent, with the donor consent or the family consent recorded on the immutable ledger in the blockchain system. So this is basically this is developed on Hyperledger Fabric network. Okay. Once these samples are collected, they are kept in the storage bank, and they're kept into the banks where IoT devices are placed in to track the environmental aspects behind these storages. So that ensures that these specimens which are collected, they, they are kept in the ideal conditions and they are authentic. They're as per the medical ethics. Okay, so this is a quick diagram here. The journey starts with, for simplicity reasons, we have just considered a simple use case where a blood, the person A is coming here, he is giving the blood. The blood samples are being collected, the consents are being recorded here, the sampling is being done, the system is creating a unique barcode, and a dynamic NFT is being attached to this barcode. So, most of you must be knowing about dynamic NFTs. The essential concept here is that dynamic NFTs, they have a life cycle of its own, and it evolves on its own, just like human beings evolve on its own, and they have a life cycle at different point of time. These dynamic NFTs could gain attributes and value over the life cycle of the entire supply chain, right from the donor to the hospitals, to the labs, to the banks, storage, to the logistics, and finally, eventually, when they go to the receiver, and the receiver receives it. So we are trying to connect this whole economics here, this whole supply chain here. Okay, the system will start here. I mean, the system will generate the QR code and will map to the dynamic NFT. It will be tagged with the sampling box, and the journey will start here. The next step, there will be an involvement of the logistics here. The logistics will play a vital role just to move, just to handle logistics between within the city or intra-city, depending on the type of donation the type of donation which has been done. Here it could be a simple liquid, it could be blood, it could be serum, it could be organ, and there are different timestamp associated with each of these human vital items. Okay, so I would just like to talk about some of the blockchain benefits here. So essentially, we are trying to reduce the cost of operation here. There is a transparent tracking which is being ensured by the system. Security, no doubt, because we are using Hyperledger Fabric here. It is unquestionable. Scalability, as per scalability is definitely there. Immutability is a basic property of blockchain. High transactions per second. It is something like 5,000 transactions per second. The biggest benefit I see here is that, I mean, personally, I think that if I am going to receive a blood sample here, I know when the blood was donated, in what condition it was kept, and what logistics were involved in between to bring it to me eventually, and it will create a seamless trust. So I will know, and I can also give, let's say, a thank you message to the person who has given me blood or some any vital organs in this case. That is the essential idea here. Okay, Karima, I think I'm done with this.
Thank you, Mr. Narendra. That was a really nice insight on healthcare moving with blockchain industry. I think so it will resolve a lot of questions related to tracking of the vitals of humans while they are being donated. I would request Mr. Nanjunda to be our next speaker and share their views on enterprise blockchain adoption in the industries and the ventures they have served so far.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Right. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy to be here, and also enjoying the presentations by other speakers. Well, here is what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to share any particular case study, but I want to share a perspective on what is limiting in enterprise blockchain adoption, and what could possibly be an opportunity, that we could collectively work towards in increasing that adoption. So here is my one perspective, and essentially, what is limiting most of the large enterprises, and what is even much of the public enterprises to adopt blockchain has been that from the evolution of blockchain, right, that we have, from the point of where the Bitcoin came in, and then the blockchain technology started evolving. The whole evolution started from a point of fringe exercise, challenging the hegemony of centralized businesses and essentially banking infrastructure. So that is where the obviously, despite all the theories of who could be behind it, but the technology evolved around distributed ledger technology, because essentially DLT facilitated a decentralized framework to build Bitcoin, and over which the whole of blockchain technology evolved. And in the process of this evolution, as we are here, after almost 14, 15 years, as we are looking at bringing into the mainstream with also almost 105 countries evaluating CBDC, and our own countries already running pilots. Uh, so as the blockchain technology has to come into mainstream, somewhere we as practitioners in the space perhaps have to make an effort in repositioning it. So let me make my case, and perhaps when we get into the Q&A, we can always discuss or debate about it. I've already been talking about it for some time, and there are some debates happening. Some people do agree, some don't. I mean, let's take it up in this forum as well. So the proposition I'm trying to make is that if we start taking a bit of a deviation from the evolution of blockchain from a point of being decentralized to approaching with the evolution of blockchain and also application of blockchain in CBDC, also with primarily focused at DLT. So if we can start rewriting the narrative, it's not rewriting, it's rather reclaiming the distribution aspect, distributed framework of blockchain to be the core and not necessarily decentralized, right? So if we can, retake that narrative and reposition it from a distributed aspect instead of decentralized, I think we will start impacting on a major mind shift from a people who have a mind block in adopting blockchain, because it was necessary from a exercise, from an evolutionary journey, but for the whole of this aspect to come into the mainstream and for having enterprise adoption in a large scale that all of us want, it is necessary that we redraw the narrative. So that is what I would like to place it in this forum as well. And I believe there is a play, and eventually, see, for every decision maker, it all comes down to where is it coming from, right? And if we want to push a larger adoption, we need to address their perception also. That becomes key. See, we cannot be approaching with my way or the highway anymore. When we come into a play of capturing or addressing a larger adoption, we need to be more accommodative. We need to take people along and also address their perceptions. And one of the key showstoppers in that aspect has been decentralized. So that is where another forum I was also talking about DeFi to DeFi, rather in a decentralized finance to distributed finance. So see, if we reposition it, and there is a way forward with that, and essentially the core framework facilitates, enables us, and also the very repositioning will give confidence to much of the enterprises also to be more open-minded about it. And there is a case in point here. And with that, every use case that we so far have been talking about has a greater opportunity to double down on the adoption. We will also see more public institutions coming forth far more aggressively onto it, and the whole opportunity will just become multifold. So that's the case that I wanted to present here, and I understand that there was 10 minutes, but I'm happy to close.
Thank you, Mr. Nanjunda. That was definitely another option of retargeting the blockchain from another perspective. Let's hear what Mr. Hansraj has to say and what are his thoughts on blockchain adoption from the industries he has served so far.
Hello everyone, very good afternoon. Okay, so Garima already introduced me. Thanks Garima for that, and I would also like to thanks to the other speakers for sharing their insights. To Naresh, Aliasgar, Dr. Satya, Narendra, and also the Nanjunda. Okay, so I would like to share my screen to show some presentation.
No, Hansraj, go ahead. You have the access.
Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so I have been working with blockchain from more than last 4 years. So I would like to share my insights on how specifically enterprise blockchain can help in supply chain, like what all challenges enterprise blockchain is solving in the traditional supply chain management system. And as a software developer, I will also share like what is my vision or what can be the future in the software supply chain, and how enterprise blockchain will play its role there. Okay, so as we all know, supply chain management is a critical function for any organization, and blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we manage the flow of goods and services. Okay, so there are actually two ways I would like to highlight this, like with two eyes, as the product consumer as well as the product manufacturer. Okay, so first I will highlight the product consumer. As an end user, as a product consumer, for us, how using blockchain can be helpful in the supply chain. So blockchain technology can provide several benefits, and some of these includes the product authentication, and blockchain technology can be used to track and verify the authenticity of products, which can help protect consumers from counterfeit and fake goods. The next is supply chain transparency. By providing consumers with access to information about from where the product is coming, how they have been produced, blockchain technology can increase transparency to the consumers, which allows customers to make more informed purchasing decisions. Also, it has a vital role in food safety as well. In the food industry, blockchain can be used to track and trace food products from farm to the table, which can help to improve food safety and reduce the risk of foodborne illness. Okay, and it also helps allow customers to access more product information. They can have detailed information about the product they are buying, or they can also see the details like what compliance it is satisfying, what certification it is holding. Okay, and the last one I would like to highlight it enhancing customer experience. By providing transparency in the supply chain, blockchain technology helps consumers to make more informed decisions about the environmental and social impact of the product that customers are purchasing. And it also create a more personalized experience to the end consumers, such as through the use of smart contracts, which can use to automate and streamline the delivery of goods and services. Now, I would like to highlight, I will give you the bigger picture, what all current challenges are there in the supply chain management with the eyes of the manufacturer. Okay, so in traditional supply chain, the very big problem is fragmented systems and data silos. So this is how the enterprise blockchain will help solve this issue. So we can build a decentralized consortium between all the participants. If you see the supply chain, there can be many actors like retailers, suppliers, logistic managers, the manufacturer themselves. And Within all these participants, if we see, they all are following different systems which are not connected together. They all are following different data formats, different compliance, different data structures. So system is not connected. Let's say if we build a decentralized consortium which is agreed by all the participants, they can come to the one terms and condition so that we can have real-time availability of data across the network. I would like to highlight this problem with the example of car manufacturer. Let's say some company wants to manufacture car. So as a car manufacturer, they are also buying many raw materials from other providers as well. Okay, so according to the prediction from other providers, they can plan their manufacture, and this way shared data enables real-time updates and also transparency. And if we build this standardization of this process, it will make this supply chain process very smooth and insightful for the manufacturer. Next big problem is inefficient inventory management system. Okay, so as I highlighted that point, like all the participants are having disconnected systems. As a car manufacturer, I don't know like what stocks what stocks with provider is having from which I am buying raw materials. So if I can have insights about real-time stocks and sell reports of providers as well, then I can plan manufacture accordingly. Okay, and we can also automate this with the help of smart contract. We can achieve replenishments. Let's say if I am using 100 units of tires for next manufacture, and I have also planned next manufacture, then I can have insights and it will automatically make orders as per the future manufacturing plan. This way, we can have holistic view of consumers' demand and which will enable proactive production of the products. Okay, and of course, the immutable shared ledger enables the prompt traceability and provenance. Another problem is like many processes are being handled manually, and we can handle these processes with the help of smart contracts. Like the automated inventory monitoring, the problem that I highlighted, we can, if we are having like further manufacturing plans as well, then we can achieve replenishments with the help of smart contracts, which will place order automatically according to our future manufacturing plan. Also, we can have analysis and reporting of what are the customer demands. So what is supply we need to plan accordingly. Accordingly, we can do the cost analysis so that we can have cost reduction as well in our manufacturing plan. And of course, this audit trail. If there is anything like something is not working as expected, we can track it to its origin, and we can also do the fraud detection. We can find like who is accountable for the same. Also, we can assure the quality by tracking it to its origin, and it can have proactive compliance. And the main point I would like to highlight, and which is paramount in the uh, blockchain-based supply chain management system, which is data security and integrity. As a shared ledger, every participants who are part of the supply chain, who are collaborating, they will have shared copy of whole ledger. So we can say it is decentralized. When any transaction will happen, like every participants will execute smart contracts. So we can say every supply chain management functionality will function decentralized way. This is how securely infrastructure for the data is being managed securely at rest and also at transit. Now, I would like to highlight this point more, the access control. When we say transparent, but it is not like that every data is visible to everyone. Initially, when blockchain was come into the picture, come into real life, it was public blockchain, but this is where like enterprise blockchain play a vital role, the access control. You can control who can see your data, who can use your data, who can update your data. This is how access control play bigger roles, and enterprise blockchain also has a vital role in it. And blockchains are immutable and append only, so there there are no chances of fraud, and data integrity and auditability will also be there. Okay, now I would like to conclude this point for how blockchain will be helpful for the manufacturer. The improved traceability and transparency. By providing a tamper-proof record of all transactions in the supply chain, blockchain technology can increase visibility and traceability of goods as they move through supply chain. Also, it will cause reduced cost by providing a shared tamper-proof ledger that all parties can access. Blockchain technology can reduce the need of intermediaries and administrative cost, which can help to increase efficiency and cost savings. Also, we can have enhanced collaboration between different participants. In the traditional supply chain, the bigger problem is to onboard new vendors, because they are having like different data standards and different system. This is a bigger problem. But if we use the blockchain, it will be very easy. We can just onboard them on our blockchain network, and it will be very easy to sync them with the old with the, I can say, like old transaction if you use blockchain. Okay, and also the better compliance. Blockchain technology can also be used to comply with regulations, standards. For example, in case of tracking of products under FDA regulations. And as a software engineer, I would like to highlight my views or what can be the future of software supply chain and how enterprise blockchain can play a role in it. So in the software industry, blockchain technology can be used to secure software distribution, track the origin and movement of software throughout the supply chain. One big benefit we can have is secure software distribution. Blockchain technology can be used to ensure the authenticity and integrity of software updates and downloads both by providing a tamper-proof record of software distribution. Also, we can achieve software provenance. Blockchain can help us to track the origin and movement of software throughout the supply chain. This can help to ensure that software is being used legally and that it is free from vulnerabilities as well. Now, the third point is smart contract automation, which play a vital role here, because with the smart contract technology, we can automate the code review as well as test. Uh, and this way we can achieve increased efficiency and reduce cost in the software supply chain as well. Next is auditing and compliance. This will help in record software development and distribution, which can help organization to comply with regulation standards. For example, in the case of software used in critical systems like government sectors. Also, it will improve the collaboration as well, where multiple parties can share and access the same information in real time, which can help to improve collaboration and communication among different software partners. And these are the brands which are already using blockchain in their supply chain system. First is Walmart. Walmart uses blockchain technology to track the movement of goods through its supply chain. This helps to improve transparency, traceability, and also assist in the traceability of food products. And next is tech giant IBM. IBM has been working on several projects to use blockchain technology for supply chain management, including partnership with major retailers such as Walmart and Nestle to improve food safety and traceability. Next is Maersk. The Danish shipping giant has developed a blockchain-based platform called TradeLens to improve transparency and efficiency in the shipping industry. Another courier giant is Carrefour. One of the largest retailers in the world is using blockchain technology to track the origin of products and improve transparency in the supply chain. And the De Beers as well, which is the diamond companies in the world, and has developed a blockchain platform called TrackR to improve the transparency and traceability in the supply chain. And the last is Provenance. Provenance is a company that provides a blockchain-based platform for supply chain transparency. It uses blockchain technology to track origin and movement and authenticity of the products. Now, to conclude my presentation, I would like to highlight few key benefits of the blockchain technology, which are increased transparency and traceability by providing a tamper-proof record and all transactions in the supply chain. Blockchain can increase visibility and traceability of goods. Another key benefit of blockchain is improved security, provides secure and decentralized platform against fraud and errors, enabling all parties involved in the supply chain to have access to the same information in real time. Blockchain can also reduce the cost by shared tamper-proof ledger that all parties can access, which can increase efficiency and cost savings. In addition to these benefits, blockchain can also be used to automate many of the manual process in the traditional supply chain management. This can help protect consumers and can also help to increase trust and collaboration among supply chain partners. Additionally, it is also important to consider the fact that blockchain technology has a vital role in the supply chain management, but also there is a role of IoT and AI to achieve maximum benefits. In conclusion, blockchain technology has potential to revolutionize supply chain management by providing increased transparency, traceability, security, efficiency. I believe that business of all sizes in all industries will start to adopt this technology in the near future. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Hansraj. It was
I would
really
like to
insightful
welcome
session.
any
So,
Q&A as well.
yes, definitely. We'll start with the Q&A. But before that, as we had the second session on benefits, but since most of the presenters have shared the benefits of blockchain industry in their respective industries that they are serving, I would ask if any of this presenter would like to share more benefits based on the industries they are serving, or should we move with the Q&A section?
Uh, so, Garima, so I would like to talk about CBDC. I'm
Sure.
not sure how many people understand CBDC. CBDC is a central bank digital currency. India recently, in the month of November and December, has launched a pilot on e-rupee. E-rupee is a digital currency which is equivalent to our fiat currency. Basically, it's a digital currency.
Can you please turn on the camera?
My camera is on.
Okay, please proceed. Okay. Please proceed, Mr. Naresh. Due to some interruption, we have lost Mr. Naresh, and he'll be joining back soon. I think so. He has
Yes,
joined.
I think we have
yeah,
him back, Garima.
yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Are you able to see me now?
Yes,
Yeah, it's
Naji, we
fine.
can
You
hear.
can go ahead.
Okay. So I was talking about ERP. So ERP pilot is launched. So there are two kind of CBDC. One is a wholesale currency, and second is a retail currency. Wholesale currency is used mainly for internal banking functions, for management of banking within banks and central bank. Whatever transactions are done, they are used over there. They use wholesale currency, and the retail currency is something which is used by uh, all of us, or the consumers, or the businesses. The how it works, that's important, and that is where it will give some kind of clarity. That it works in traditionally when we want to transfer payment from our bank account to from one account to another person. Behind the scene, there are multiple parties involved. So different banks are there, central bank is there, like NPCI, a third party is there. Over there, multiple entities are there, and one behind one single IMPS transaction, there are about 30 different transactions are created behind the scene, which requires heavy reconciliation activity. Uh, and it's actually expensive process. Whereas in case of ERP, once ERP does not require any third party or any bank in between, it can be transferred directly from one account to another account. What it means that there is no need of any kind of reconciliation. It exactly works like your cash or physical note. The only thing it's not physical note. It's a digital currency which is where for which you have the wallet. From your wallet to transfer your ERP to anybody. And here the privacy is maintained because you're not dealing with the banks when you're doing the transfer of the ERP. Uh, so there's no need of heavy infrastructure reconciliation need in the backend. So it becomes very efficient. It becomes very the transaction cost is very low. Privacy is maintained, and data security is very high. And that is one of the biggest benefits, multiple benefits. If I talk about from ERP point of view, in fact, financial inclusion point of view, uh, people who are poor, people who are living in the far remote places, over there, putting up a banking infrastructure is very expensive affair, and that is why they are refrained from using banking services. Now, with the CBDC, because mobile phones are available, internet banking, internet is there everywhere, and in fact, CBDC can work without internet also. So we can have a account on ERP for each and every one, even in the farthest place, and they can start getting all the benefit of financial inclusion. Remittances, which takes like when we transfer money from one country to another country, the multiple parties involved. It takes a couple of days to transfer. Very expensive, very tedious process. So the benefit, if you understand, this is one kind of use case where we can see the benefits of efficiency, cost saving, and security. All of these benefits are actually applicable across all the other use cases in blockchain. I thought I should just share this particular point. Over to you, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Naresh. After this, I think so Mr. Nanjunda would also like to share his views on the benefits of enterprise blockchain adoption. Mr. Nanjunda, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. As a follow-on, I just want to highlight a few aspects that CBDC is going to have significant impact on banks, because it's going to take away a lot of transactions otherwise businesses or individuals who are depending on as a follow through the bank, which will become directly through the central bank. So while this does take away a lot of value out of the banks, this opens up a huge opportunity for uh, banks and other NBFCs, and even potentially fintech companies, or even yet to be born fintech companies in the next 5 years, to tap into a huge opportunity gala that is opening up with CBDC. This is something I just wanted to flag it, that there is going to be a lot of opportunity to innovate, come up with a lot of new solutions, services around it, and enabling, facilitating in various ways where otherwise previously it was completely a controlled domain of banks, which is going to be open for most of us now. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nanjunda. It was really insightful to have your added on views. Any other speaker would like to share their benefits on the industries they are venturing based on the enterprise adoption, or should we move to the Q&A section?
No, thank you, Garima. I will like to add a few more points from my experience actually, and that is about the application of smart contracts in public-private partnership template actually. As you know, public-private partnership known as PPP contracting is used in government in a big way, especially like about NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, and also Power Grid, and now it is used in telecommunication also, wherein government or its an agency provides some kind of funding or some kind of rights, and the private sector brings the gap funding or whatever is missing, so that both public and private entities together deliver a project for its end objective for the benefits of the consumer. So that is the purpose of PPP. And most of the infrastructure products projects are done through that. But what is happening is by using the conventional way of contracting and preparing a concession agreement for PPP, lot of problems are getting created, which are resulting into what we call time overrun, cost overrun, litigation, arbitration. And with that, first of all, lot of delays are happening, and then lot of losses are also happening to government as well as to the private sector. So if we use these blockchain attribute called smart contracts, that is based on Ethereum, or it is also called blockchain 2.0 now. The smart contract basically what it does is, as was mentioned by one of the panelists also, it automates the contractual execution part of it actually. It is automated. That is one thing. That is why it is called smart contract. But more than that, that is only just one benefit of automation. If you automate, you become more efficient, you become more predictable also. But by using all the attributes of smart contracts, you can also make it more, let us say, quality controlled and quality to be judged by the end user through proof of let us say work or proof of stake. There are various consensus mechanism where the end user or the actual beneficiary of the project is also taken into account in as a data provider or as a comment provider in the overall project management and project execution, as well as in the payments. So once we start using that, in addition to bringing the efficiency in these project executions, which are of huge value, it can also bring the trust part, trust and the basically impact part, what impact it has actually made, whether it has made the intended impact or not, by bringing the end user in the loop of the judgment or of the trust building, instead of giving it through a third party or a independent engineer certifying the project. It will be the end users who will be indirectly, in a transparent and distributed manner, will be certifying the project from their actual usage, from their actual experience. So that can be a game changer in our PPP projects, which are coming more and more now as more and more infrastructure is being created with government funding and government concessions. So that is more, and we are already working on that for some railway projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Satya. Now we'll be moving with the Q&A section, and we have lots of questions that we have received from on our chat, and we have a few questions from our end as well. So let's start with the first question. That's by Mr. Kanwalji. He wants to know what's the journey been in GOI of blockchain adoption, and that's for Mr. Satya.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Kamaljeet, for your question. As I already mentioned, the TRAI in the telecom, they had already started the UCC blockchain-based solution, and now they are going to the phase 2, where even if a telemarketer is not registered, even then he can be accountable about these do not call vitiation. That is one thing. In addition to that, as you know, METI, the Ministry of Electronics and IT, they have come out with a national framework or a architecture kind of thing for the national broad blockchain strategy. And some of the state governments have also come, so that now there is a framework for from the government side itself, that how you should start using the blockchain. There is a 5-layer framework. One is the basic infrastructure, that is your IT, your internet, and then there is a blockchain layer, then there is a smart contract layer, and then there are these applications. So a lot of things are happening as far as the policy level and the government support and the government intention to use the blockchain. And now the actual use cases have to be carved out, and that is where the forum like us is helping. And then there are a lot of startups who are also bringing the proof of concepts to the various government entities. Actually, government as in these Davos also, World Economic Forum, last week only a report was released, and government and especially the Prime Minister wants this decade as India decade and named is Decade. And in the Decade, a lot of technology have been mentioned which will drive this decade, and 5G is one of them. Of course, all of us have started using. Then AI ML is there everywhere. In addition to that, they have also mentioned about blockchain, and not only from cryptocurrency point of view, as it came out, CBDC, the RBI have already started adopting blockchain in a very, very restricted and cautious manner, but they are already there. But then with these new technologies during the decade, government is very open, spending a lot of money on R&D, giving a lot of money for POC, for pilots, for startups. And another technology which is also being encouraged by government, which will also dovetail or converge with blockchain, is IPv6. That is also called new internet, where it will enable the peer-to-peer communication, because blockchain, one thing is no middleman, no central authority, no third party. So peer-to-peer communication has to happen. For that, IoT is one where machine to machine communication will happen. A lot of encouragement to that. Other is the IPv6, because IPv6 have unlimited address space, which was not the case in the original internet, which was version 4. Those addresses are already exhausted. They have to be reused, or doing netting, and some kind of magic box is used to multiply their usage. But in the IPv6, everyone, every particle on the earth can get a IP address. And that is why people are talking about every sensor or every IoT device, every machine will get an address, not only just a telephone guy or a laptop guy getting an IP address. So with that, P2P communication will happen, which will be more efficient without any middleman, and it will be traceable and it will be more secured also. So a lot of adaptations are happening at the government, first from the policy point of view, then the facilitation point of view or funding kind of thing, and then the use cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Satya. Now we have a second question from Mr. Aliasgar. What is your approach in moving forward to plug these music industry and the challenge of the loss in revenue?
Yeah, hi. So, firstly, great question, Kanwaljit. I thought about this, and basically, the answer to this is with blockchain coming into picture in the media and entertainment industry, it has brought about, it has introduced a lot of other revenue streams and revenue models. So, one of which would be micropayments, peer-to-peer micropayments. So, basically, once a content creator has registered their property on a blockchain platform, the blockchain records the usage, every usage of that piece of content. So this tracking enables real-time, flexible and transparent consumption-based pricing mechanisms, just like metered billing. So a smart contract can be utilized to execute automatic micropayments between the consumer and the creator. Second way would be you pay for what you get. So basically, currently there are digital music stores which allow consumers to purchase an entire piece of the soundtrack, right? For example, iTunes. But if I want a particular portion of that soundtrack only in my movie, just as example, a snippet of that creative work. So that snippet of that creative work can be made available for a particular price. So a few seconds of a song for a use in a movie trailer. So already services like Streamium are disrupting the market with such micro metering kind of payment services, wherein you don't pay extra for if you want to use a particular part of the particular content. Right? Second is more efficient dynamic pricing. So one thing is creative content can be mispriced by tracking the demand of creative content. Pricing could be more dynamic. So for currently, as a content creator, I don't have a lot of hold on the pricing of my content piece. So prices for creative content could fluctuate according to supply and demand. And artists um, have, with blockchain coming in, artists are getting the ability to set prices themselves without having to go through concept intermediaries. So again, in if you see, I would take the example of Brave browser, which allows internet users to directly pay and support the content creators who like for ad free content, they can also pay in Bitcoin to the content creators. So again, the idea is to bring the content creators with the consumers closer, and hence develop other revenue streams of model with the bottom line of again reducing these intermediaries which are not required in the process. Yeah, I
That's a
hope I answered.
wonderful answer. Thank you, Mr. Aliasgar.
Thank you.
I think so. When we are talking about the blockchain, the security is the main concern. So my next question is to Mr. Nanjunda. Like, how will we improving the security while we are moving ahead with the blockchain adoption?
Hi. Well, I think uh, it again comes down to where we are talking about. And can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay. So see, one is that we will have a lot more enterprise play coming in, and obviously few of these technology platforms and technologies such as Hyperledger are very well placed from addressing the security solutions, security aspects of our approach. And intrinsically, when we approach with primarily from a point of just before you asked me this, Aliasgar was talking about media and entertainment and how they approach or how they will uh, uh, use blockchain solutions from a point of adoption. See, with more of payments coming forth with this, and also I think earlier Mr. Jain pointed out that much of the adoption in the enterprise will also be in the tokenization space. So that is something I also fundamentally believe in. So given intrinsic framework of blockchain itself provides a lot of security, but on top of it, with uh, uh, with uh, with a better governance, and also most important thing is that this is a time where we probably have to also approach it from a point of DAO to from a point of distributed autonomous corporations, right? So this is something has been talked about, but not been uh, employed. So that is something which has to come about, and this is where governance will become far more important, because we recently saw a crypto exchange collapse, and a lot of people attributed to this being decentralized. So problem was not really with anything to do with that being decentralized. Problem was more from a governance aspect of it. So that is where so a better governance frameworks have to be employed and administered. So that becomes far more critical. So with moving to enterprise adoption, we'll have to start taking it to uh, uh, the autonomous corporate governance framework that will have to be built in. So uh, I think um, so instead of giving a long, I think this would be something I would stress upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nanjunda. So going forward with Mr. Hansraj, as you mentioned about the supply chain, I would like to know, I'm sorry, I would like to know what was the reason why, as the Redlands got shut down and it was the venture for the blockchain collaborated by IBM. So what was the reason behind it, and how can we overcome the challenges that they have faced?
Okay. Okay. Thanks for the question. So I would like to highlight uh, two key points, like which are the challenges currently. The one is infrastructure, and another we can say is interoperability. So interoperability, like there are some interoperability solutions already there in the market, but the challenge is there, they are centralized. There are already some also pilot projects like who are trying to achieve decentralized interoperability, but they are still as a pilot project. So maybe in the near future, adoption will be quicker, and infrastructure problem also will be solved soon with the next version of blockchains, I believe.
And especially the high cost is one of the key challenges
Yeah.
with the adoption there. And there are no technical reasons for this.
Yeah, I agree with Narendra.
I would like to ask the another question, and I would be thinking that it will be the last. So I would like to know what is the future vision of the blockchain enterprises with the startups and the upcoming ventures.
You were asking me or Narendra?
I would like to ask to all these presenters.
Mhm.
Yeah, Garima, actually, let me start. Actually, the future vision is actually to make blockchain to solve the problems of the enterprises, including the government agencies, the problems which they are grappling with for ages, the problems which the conventional technologies are unable to help, in addition to bringing more efficiency. Actually, efficiency is one thing, and which automatically comes when you use blockchain, because there is no third party here, so the costs are saved. It is direct communication, peer to peer communication, one to one communication. So that is starting point, and everyone needs to be efficient in this competitive age actually. And now, as the revenues have gone down due to COVID, the cost have to be reduced, so blockchain can do that, and that is where the blockchain startups and enterprises have to help. In addition, they have to also use the other attribute of blockchain, the trust building. So wherever trust is lacking, or wherever there is a zero trust, as you know, our prime minister always talks about zero trust. Zero trust means don't trust anything unless you test it, or unless it is authenticated or validated. Blockchain exactly does the same thing actually. So that is a natural fit between the government vision of becoming more efficient, and when you are talking of becoming 5 trillion economy actually, which we should have become next year, but it will take 1 or 2 more years before COVID. And the 5 trillion, actually the studies say, the out of 5 trillion, 1 trillion can come through digital transformation, and accelerated by blockchain actually. So that is the IT part, where AI, ML, everything will play their part, but blockchain will accelerate it faster. It will bring more efficiency, and also it will save more costs also. So there is a great, I think, future for the blockchain enthusiast, blockchain startups, blockchain enterprises, to solve the problems of the existing conventional enterprises and the government agencies. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would just like to add a couple of points here. Very well said, sir, Dr. Satya, sir. Yeah, essentially, the immutability property leads us to an audit-ready records. So the expenses on the audits are going to be, it's by design, we are creating audit-ready records using blockchain technology. Number one, the problem with respect to creating trust between different stakeholders and defining the the nitty-gritties about trust can be well dealt with this technology, blockchain. Going far, I don't see just blockchain, but I see blockchain with combination of IoTs, with combination of artificial intelligence, predictive reports compiled together to give an impactful enterprise-grade solutions. That is my insight here.
Also over here, Narendra, just adding to few points which you made. It's really important for how we are going to transform the current traditional system and integrate few parts of it with blockchain. So it has to be done in an iterative manner. What I understand is, because few things it's not feasible to get done together. You have to do it bits by bit, slowly, by digitalizing and again tokenization few things, few modules of a particular big system, and then tackling a bigger problem.
Right,
Two
earlier.
things which I would just want to discuss and highlight over here is specifically to India. Uh, Again, this is open to everybody and especially the speakers. What would be your take on the laws, crypto laws, and regulations currently in our country? Because, as you know, so the CEO of Binance just released a statement or a comment saying that India has a great potential in terms of leading the world through blockchain because of the talent, but with the laws and the restrictions currently we pose as a country, which is restrictive in compared to other geographies and nations like etc., like for example UAE, US, European countries. So how would that impact our growth as a nation adopting blockchain? And what do you see? The second part of the question is, with what do you see apart from the real life examples of blockchain as a technology, what would be the future of cryptocurrency specifically, with so many crashes and so many currencies going down?
No, thank you. Let me just add, because today only the Honorable Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji, Minister of State for IT, have mentioned about exactly these things actually. And he
Right.
says there is no problem with, let us say, with crypto, as long as you follow the country's law. And the
Hmm.
country's law, three of them actually, one is the IT Act and three is the data protection, that personal data protection law, and third is they are also bringing a digital India law. These three
Right.
law are coming parallel, and then of course telecom law is being, and they have sought the comments from everyone, and they are trying to make the law more means user friendly,
Hmm.
enabling ease of doing business. And
Right.
they are not against crypto, as he has mentioned very clearly. Of course, the law of the land has to be obeyed. They are not against cryptocurrency, as the RBI itself have started with e-rupee,
Hmm.
CBDC, and all that.
Right.
They have tried to make best use of the existing framework and also still adopting the technologies. So there is no problem as far as future of crypto is concerned in the country. RBI is going a bit cautious. They first tried wholesale, now they are going to retail, but that also in a restricted manner. And they are trying to use it so that it is permissioned kind of thing basically. So they want to make use of all the attributes of blockchain, but in a permissioned manner. So, and as minister statement can be read, that they are very, very favorable, supportive of this, but with a caution, and because ultimately it has to be the law of the land which is more supreme. So they are trying to adopt the law, the old law they are basically amending or scrapping or bringing new laws. So that is what is my understanding.
Well, thank you so much, Satyanji. Really, really great answer. Thank you.
Well, I agree with Dr. Gupta.
Thank you.
I think India has approached, government has approached uh, 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 extremely cautiously and also in a very minimalistic way in terms of bringing
Right.
in very minimum rules and such. So, which is fantastic. Only concern I think here is that the rhetoric, coming out of RBI governor, even talking about fraud, associating the fraud to the concern of, cryptocurrency.
Right.
The it's a fraud. It's nothing to do with the crypto.
Yeah, yeah.
So some of these kind of rhetoric coming out of people out of RBI or ministry, those are aspects of concern, but not the rules per se. So that's what I think. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
And just one other point from the question of opportunity. I think, see, I approach uh, blockchain and uh, from a point of distributed economy. And this is where I see there's a huge opportunity to monetize distributed economy. So I think this is we are at a cusp of unlocking great value proposition here. So this is literally going to unlock. So far the journey has been about creating value, but I think this is where India will, move exponentially into value realization. So this is where
Hmm.
block makes such a big impact. So that's another opinion that I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanjunda.
I think it's time to wrap up the event. Thank you, speakers, for your valuable insight on behalf of entire Chaincode Consulting and Enterprise Blockchain Adoption event. We would like to express our gratitude to the honorable speakers Mr. Naresh, Mr. Nanjunda, Mr. Satya, Mr. Aliasgar, Mr. Narendra, and Mr. Hansraj for sparing their valuable time and sharing their immense knowledge with us. We hope that association continues and strengthens in time to come. We will send our merchandise to our speakers after the event as a token of respect and appreciation. Before ending the event, the CCL Chandigarh family would like to come together and thank you all for the contribution. So that's a thank you and a wrap up from us. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazingly executed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We are
Thank
looking
you.
forward to engaging with the upcoming event and future collaboration. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Garima. Thank you.
Pleasure.